People want to be a part of the journey because the journey is sexy from the outside looking in. Being an entrepreneur sounds cool, it sounds fun, it sounds relevant, but when you're in it, it is the hardest, most aggressive ass beating you will ever take. Chapter 3 of this limited series book podcast, Undressed, the unfiltered story of my failed American dream and how it led to success. I'm Greg Vetter. I wrote it, and I'm here to talk about some of the lessons learned of scaling business and all of the shit that can go right or wrong along the way. So chapter 3 was about trying to figure out how to initially scale once people proved that they liked it and it could potentially work, and how hard that moment is. That is the first true test when you're figuring out how to go from 1 store to 4 stores to 10 stores, and all that's going on from small batch to small to medium batch. I mean, it's a total and utter shit show. And so the need for focus and perseverance and to keep your ear to the ground and to be hyper aware of how your team is doing, that will dictate whether or not you move past that phase. And not everybody's going to move past that phase. So what you need to know, not everyone is ready to drink out of a fire hose, and don't assume that they are. People want to be a part of the journey because the journey is sexy from the outside looking in. Being an entrepreneur sounds cool, it sounds fun, it sounds relevant, but when you're in it, it is the hardest, most aggressive ass beating you will ever take. We used to joke we live in dog years, and we would live. We said 1 hour of ours is a normal person's day, and a day for us is a normal person's week, and a week for us is a normal person's month, and a month for us is a normal person's year. And so you're just getting the absolute shit kicked out of you. And people may be ready for step 1 of that. But if you're growing in dog years, not everybody is built for that much growth that fast and that aggressively. And if you assume that they are, as a leader, you're going to be fucked. And that happened to me more times than I can count. And so when I look back on all of the chaos from growth, it really came down to me assuming incorrectly that people were prepared. I thought I over-communicated goals, what it was going to take, where we're going, how we're going to get there. And in reality, it was just, it wasn't sinking in to the old noggin. And so, not everyone's ready to drink out of a fire hose. And that's all I can really say on that one. Next learning lesson. What you need to know: when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. It will always look different in the morning. The days are so hard that you want to quit. And people are quitting. They're quitting left and right. Shit is on fire. You're out of money. You've risked everything. You're working at a freaking startup. You don't know if payroll's coming. People are saying they want to work for you, and then the minute they get there, we had one woman, she started, we sold her the bill of goods, like, this is aggressive. I don't know if you're ready for all this. Took her on tours of the manufacturing plant, whole deal. She started and quit the same day. Same day. All that interviewing, all those discussions, start, quit, same day. And so you got to tie a knot and hang on. And I think if you could summarize my journey and how I made it through and how I continue to press on, it is that Latin phrase, fortitudine vincimus, by endurance we conquer. And that quote, which I found recently, even though it's ancient Stoic philosophy, the first quote was tie a knot and hang on. Because if you can endure the day and you can rest your mind and then wake up early and attack the day and figure out how to do that day in and day out, you can literally accomplish anything. And it starts small. Master the minute. How focused and disciplined can you be for 1 minute? Then try 2 minutes. Then try 10 minutes. Then try an hour. Then try a day. Then try a week. And so on and so forth. And what you're going to do is you're going to develop the muscles in your hand and in your mind with pain tolerance to hang on to that rope no matter how long you have to hang on. And if you don't ever quit, you will win. That's just how it goes. Other people are not built for that shit. They're not built to go forever. They're built to get in your face for an hour or a day or a month or even a year. They're not built to try and stop you for 10 years. Who's that focused? You, hopefully. And if you are, then the world is your oyster. You will conquer any task. Everything will be yours. But you got to tie a knot and you got to hang on. What you need to know when evaluating a new venture, look for easily scalable, good return on time, and fun. Now, this formula runs in complete contradiction to a bunch of VC books about building a moat around your business so you can fend off competition, because if it's easily scalable, theoretically, everybody can do it. What I mean by easily scalable is you shouldn't be inventing too much shit. Most of the stuff is out there. You just got to open your eyeballs, look, ask some questions, ask some favors, and ask people to think about things a little bit differently. We literally had to invent clean manufacturing. We had to invent a way to make salad dressing without thickening agents or citric acid or natural flavors or preservatives. Nobody would do it. We tried to find co-packers who did it. They didn't do it. They didn't want to do it. Our brand was irrelevant. No one gave a shit. And so we literally had to invent the process to make this dressing on a mass scale. That's hard. That takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. And I don't want to call it a distraction because it was critical to create the end result we needed, which was flavor and quality and value for our consumer. But you can't grow the brand when you're taking care of manufacturing. And you can't take care of manufacturing when you're growing the brand. And so when you're looking at ventures, and now I'm in a bunch of different businesses, I'll come up with an idea. I'll try and prove myself wrong, see if it exists, poke holes in it. Then I'll see if somebody else can develop and make it for me in a reasonable way, timeline, cost, etc. And if they can, then I'll do all the hard shit, which is brand stuff, sales stuff, marketing stuff, kicking down doors, putting together the financing, etc. when I look back on how hard my journey was the first time around, I had to do all of that. And we had to create manufacturing, hire manufacturing workers, run manufacturing plants, do logistics, and it was refrigerated logistics. I mean, we made it as hard as humanly possible the first time around. So anything now is easy. Nothing is harder than refrigerated, perishable dressing outside of produce, which I'm also in. And so when you're looking at your new business, when you're looking at your venture, yeah, you can have an awesome idea. If you've got to invent some wild shit to make it happen, come up with a different idea because you got your work cut out for you. And this is where everybody fails. This is the first massive obstacle, which is once you prove that people like it, that first phase of scaling, figuring out the people, how you're going to bring quality to people easily, how you're going to fund it, where are the limitations in the brand from a local, regional, and national perspective. People make the wrong decisions right there, and that's where they fail. So be hyper aware of what's required and try and make it as easy as possible for yourself. Don't do the hard shit because you want to tell people you're doing it the hard way. I've done that. It sucks. That is chapter 3. Thank you for listening. I'm Greg Vetter. This is the limited podcast series on Undressed. And we will be back next week with chapter 4. Thank you.